Hi guys, Chris here. If you're a combat athlete and you want to learn more about how to do how you need to train strength and conditioning wise for combat sports, check out UFC champion Demetrius Johnson's strength and conditioning coach. He has a book called Ultimate MMA Conditioning, and if he's strength and conditioning coach for Demetrius Johnson, he knows his stuff. So here's the book, Ultimate MMA Conditioning. So yeah, this video is about how to train power. So, Demetrius Johnson's strength conditioning coach, Joel Jameson, he covers it very well in his book Ultimate MMA Conditioning. So, yeah, the biggest mistake people make when they're training power is like not giving themselves enough rest between sets. So people think they're training speed, strength, or power. Say if you're doing sprints, you're trying to train speed, or if you're doing jumps or clap push-ups and you're trying to train power. The common mistake people make is they think that by working harder, like taking less rest between sets, they're going to get better gains. So someone might say they might do 10 seconds sprint or 10 seconds of clap push-ups or 10 seconds of jumps. And then they might take like 20 seconds rest or something very short rest. And then they go again. And they think after like one set or two sets, your power is more or less compared to what your maximum power is. If you're trying to train power, you need to be going at 100% effort to train the energy system that generates power, the phosphagen energy system. Like if you're only having 20 seconds at rest after a 10 second maximum sprint, you're not going to be training speed anymore. It's going to turn into conditioning. It's not speed anymore. Like if you look at, like we learned at college, like if you're trying to train raw speed, not sprint repeatability, but raw speed. Say if you're a 100-meter sprinter, if you're training raw speed, per 10 meters maximum sprint, you take 1 minute at least rest. So that means say you do a 40-meter sprint. That means at least 40-meter sprint. You have at least 4 minute rest between set. So you know what I mean. You're not doing if you're trying to train raw speed, you're not doing a 40-meter sprint then going again after 20 seconds. You need to have at least 4 minute rest if you want to train raw speed. Same with like power for an MMA fighter. Joel Jameson was recommending. That's for a 100-meter sprinter. Maybe you don't have the time to kind of give yourself that type of rest period, but these are Joel Jameson's recommendations for a combat athlete if you're training power, if you're training raw power. So he was saying that you do 6 to 12 sets. So say you do 6 sets of the sprint, 6 sets of 7 to 10 seconds sprint. Between each set you take 2 to 5 minute rest. And then after doing the 6 sets of sprints, you go on 5 to 6 sets of sprints. You go on and you take 8 to 15 minute rest before going into the next exercise, and then you do 5 to 6 sets. I'll say if the second exercise is clap push-ups or explosive pull-ups or vertical jumps. So make sure that you're doing a full body exercise. There's no point just doing sit-ups as fast as you can. Also, that's probably going to be dangerous on your spine. But yeah, make sure it's many muscles at one time you're working. So also, yeah, if it's your, you could do it with your sports skill either. Like if you're a boxer, you could punch the bag as hard as you can for 10 seconds. Or if you're a grappler, you could do throws as powerful as you can for 7 to 10 seconds, providing that your technique is already good at it. But yeah, so you do 5 to 6 sets of say 7 to 10 seconds of sprinting. Then after you've done with 2 to 5 minutes rest between each set. Then after you've done your 5 to 6 sets of sprinting, you move on, you take 8 to 15 minute rest, and then you go on to the next exercise, which is, say, clap push-ups. And then you do, say, 5 to 6 sets of clap push-up with 2 to 5 minute rest between each set. And then that's your power session done. It's actually a very time-consuming session. And if you want to train it, you do this 1 to 3 times per week. So, like, if you're doing it 3 times per week, that means that power is your priority in training at that moment in time. But if you do it 1 time a week, it could mean that something like cardio is your priority and you're just maintaining the power. Whereas if you're doing it 3 times a week, it means that you're going to be doing not half as much cardio, and you're trying to prioritize power. So yeah, that's the biggest thing, guys. Make sure when you're training power or speed, make sure that if your aim is to get faster, don't be doing a 40-meter sprint and taking 10 seconds rest or 20 seconds rest. If you want to increase raw speed and you're really lacking in raw speed, you need to take plenty of rest between sets. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, just post below. Peace.